Today and both today.
Okay. All right, guys, we're going to get started. So welcome to exercise class today. For today's class, it's going to be a little different than other days. We're not playing music today, and we're going to try to keep chatter to a minimum, especially my own chatter. I would like to be able to describe exercises so that our viewers at home, when you're watching this video, you're going to be able to do the exercises safely. So before we get started, everyone that is about to exercise should always have a doctor's consent to make sure you're in good health to do the exercises. And basically, choose weights and resistance tubing that is at your level. And if you're not sure what that is, you can message me. And also, have fun. Your exercises should be fun. And hopefully you'll find this workout routine enjoyable. Our participants here have already done this program, so they know it's enjoyable. But today I'd like to share it with you. So we're going to get started. Arms up, overhead. All of our exercises are going to be done to 16 reps. This is a tricep extension. When you're doing this exercise, your elbows should be going beside your face, and your arms bending behind you. We're working on 16 repetitions today, and one of my trusty members here, Carol, is going to shout out to me when I've hit 16. Because I'm describing a lot, I'm going to forget to count. And where are we at, Carol? 14, 15, and 16. Bring your arms down beside you. Our next exercise is a bicep curl. I should mention before we get any further, every exercise that you do in this class, you should be looking straight ahead. You should avoid turning your head while you're exercising. If you must look around, just use your eyes. Bicep curls, here we go. For 1, 2, sometimes I'll count, 3, and sometimes I'll tell stories. 4, 5, for this exercise here, it's important to keep your wrists firm. I would say for most of our exercises, you want a firm grip, meaning you're not lifting and flicking your wrist. You want to be lifting with a firm control of the weight. Also, when you're lifting, 16, thank you. When you're lifting, it's at a regular 1-2 count pace, not too fast, not too slow. All right, our next exercise is leg extensions. We're doing this one leg at a time. I will demonstrate in the third round how to do these standing. Right now I'm doing them seated. Leg up and out for 1, 2. For this exercise, 3. As you're lifting, if you're doing it seated, to make it a little more challenging, you can slightly elevate the leg. The extension is coming from the knee out. All right, if you're standing, which I'll be demonstrating shortly, you're going to be, are we at 16? 16, thank you. Other leg, here we go. Here's 1, 2. If you're doing this standing, I recommend, if it's your first time, holding onto a chair or the couch, something sturdy at home. Don't be holding on to your neighbor, because she might tip on you and you could fall. All right, how are we doing, Carol?
13,
14, 15, and 16. Good. With this exercise program, you're noticing, or you will notice, we're going to be doing some upper body exercises and then lower body. We flip-flop back and forth to give your muscles a little break. Shoulder presses are next. And here we go. We're pressing from the shoulders up for 1, 2. Now, as you do this exercise, you're going to notice my hand grip is facing forward. You could actually face your hands inward if that's more comfortable on your shoulder. If you've been dealing with any shoulder injuries or it just feels better, you can change your grip on this exercise, no problem. This is a great one to strengthen your shoulders. Where are we at?
16.
And 16, great. Now, our next exercise, if you're doing this in your home and you've got lots of furniture around you, or if you're with a group of people, you want to make sure you have room beside you. We're going to be lifting our arms out to the side, and as you do this exercise, we're doing 2 parts. 8 of the reps are going to have our hands facing the floor, and 8 are going to be facing the ceiling. Here we go, everybody. Up for 1, 2. Now here it's important again to control your weight up, control it down. No flicking of the arms or the wrists here. And here's 8. Now take a moment, pause, turn the hands up for 8 and 7. Sometimes we count backwards because it makes it feel easier. This is one of our hardest exercises, and so we try to make it more fun by counting backwards. And that's really the only reason we do. All right, our next exercise is marching. You're going to hear in the background of this video some loud sounds. Some of our participants jog and some march really loud. So here we go, everybody, for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. All right, we have some participants that like to jog during that, and we take about a 20-second breather just to catch our breath and make sure we're all fine for the next exercise. All right, while we're preparing for our next exercise, I want to remind you guys about keeping our heads straight forward. Another area that I want to talk about is your abdominal area. You'll hear me say this a lot throughout the video about keeping your core tight. Your core is your abdominal area as well as your back. So you're going to be holding those areas tight. When you do, it supports your lower back. All right, so stomach's in tight, everybody. Arms are out front, and we're rowing in for 1, 2. Now, as you do this exercise here, you want to think of squeezing your shoulder blades in the back. Now, as we age, we have a natural progression to want to have hunched shoulders. It just happens. Not even just aging. Our youth are on their devices so much that they would benefit from this as well. So if you're watching this and you have grandchildren,
16.
Thank you, 16, that use their iPads a lot or their computers or their iPhones, then you're going to want to get them doing that exercise with you. All right, our next exercise, your arms are hanging beside you. Our arms are just holding beside you and you're lifting your shoulders up and down. Here's 2, 3. This might seem like a silly exercise, but again, it's a great strengthener for your shoulders and your neck, which are holding your head up. So again, it's got a big job to do, and by holding your shoulders up and down, you're strengthening all of those little muscles that hold your head up. And 16, excellent. All right, my next 2 exercises are some of my favorites if you have shoulder injuries. So you're gonna hold your elbows in on your side. The elbows are like they're glued to you, and you're holding your arms at 90-degree angles, and we're opening. Here we go for 1, 2, 3, 4. So now this one, you guys, it's very important that you keep your elbows in and you do not flick your wrists. I'm going to show you what a wrist flick looks like, and I don't want you to do it. Flick. You do not want to do that. Keep your wrist really straight and strong. And 16. Thank you. All right, our next exercise is an arm circle. Now this exercise is very therapeutic for your shoulders. We're going to be doing 16 repetitions, both directions. I'm going to be holding 2 weights for this. You can have a little bit heavier load. If you're seated, you're going to lean on your leg. Your arm is hanging, 16 each way. Here we go for 1, 2, 3, 4. As you're doing this, you're letting your arm hang. You should feel a little bit of tension in your shoulder as your arm is getting stretched. You're circling about the size of an extra large pizza, maybe bigger.
16.
All right, change directions, everybody, for 1, 2. Now this is just to help increase mobility in your shoulder. It's not a huge strengthener. It's more for stretching and mobility versus strength. And where are we at? 13, 14, 15, and 16. Good. We're going to switch arms. If you've been doing that standing, let's get started. Here's 1. And if you're feeling any pain in your lower back, you want to make sure your knees are soft. And when you're bending over, hold your stomach tight. Even as I'm sitting here, my legs are wider than normal, and my stomach is held tight to protect my back.
16.
Thank you. Other direction. There we go. good on your shoulder. This exercise shouldn't feel too strenuous. It should feel very therapeutic. Not our next one, no. That one's gonna get you.
16.
Thank you. All right, we're moving on to the legs again. So, up until now, we've been doing most of this seated, and our class has done some of them seated, some of them have been doing them standing. We're gonna be doing a chair squat next. So, with the chair squat, I am gonna be stepping up and down, standing up and down, and you're gonna take your weights, crisscross them here. I will be demonstrating partway through how you can do this exercise if your knees are troubling you or your back, how you can assist your own body with this. We're going to get started. Here we go. Here's 1 and 2. Here's 3. Now, if I was having some trouble with maybe my strength, maybe my mobility, I would probably get rid of these weights, and you could use your hands and use your upper body as a little leverage to get up and down. So if you're struggling to do this exercise with your weights, you could definitely remove them and continue without. 15, yes? Yep. And 16. I didn't keep count. I have a lady in my class who's keeping count for me. All right, our next exercise we all do standing. If you're able to stand, come up and stand behind your chair. These next 2 exercises, we can work on our balance. Balance is something that we also lose a little bit as we get older. And so for this exercise, have a chair close by, hold on to it if you need to, but if you're able to, just have your hands hover. We're going up on our tippy toes at a 2 count. Here we go. And we're up. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2. The reason I say the number 1 in there is because when I say 1, I want you to push up a little higher onto your toes. And you're going to feel your calf muscles get nice and tight. And then when they lower down, they stretch. And we will stretch all of them out at the end of class. Again, if you can go hands-free, give it a try. It's a lot harder, but you can try it.
16.
16, 1, 2, good. Our next exercise is also done behind the chair, and we're going to be doing a leg curl. So you can balance on one leg if you want to, but if you're unable to, just stand. You can hit the ground in between each repetition. But here we go. I'm going to balance. We're lifting up. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Now this one, we're only doing 8 and 8 on each leg because for some people, they're balancing right now, and balancing for 16 is pretty long. So we're going to just do 8s. Thank you. Other leg. Ready? Here we go. Lifting up. Now, when you're lifting behind, it's kind of an awkward movement. As you're lifting, I want you to pretend you're lifting something heavy on your foot, like a 20-pound runner, and you're squeezing like a ball behind your knee. And 6, 7. And 8, 1, 2, good. Our next exercise is a wall push-up. Our participants are going to go around the room and find a wall space, and I will find one too. I'll go right here. Hands are at about shoulder height. And you can do this if you have awkward furniture at home, if it's in your way. Hands are at shoulder height. You're standing about 3 feet from the wall, and you're going in and pressing out. Now, you'll notice we kind of stop counting as we're doing this. You're going to work at 16. I'd like to show you another angle for this exercise. If this is a little bit easy for you, you could actually go to the edge of the table, and you're going to take a firm grip. Your body's on an angle, and you're pressing at the table height. So this is an angle if that's getting a little bit easy for you. And for some of you viewers at home, you may even be able to do a push-up on the floor. So you can go onto your shins, your arms are going to go down, hands under your shoulders, And this is a shin push-up to begin with. If that gets easy for you, you can walk out and do a knee push-up. And if you're at home and you're able to, you can even do a toe push-up. Lots of options. All right, that concludes our first round of exercise, everybody. We're going to do the second round. Our second round of exercise is going to involve tubing. I'll do this section standing, if that's okay, with our camera person. Yep. And we're going to start with our first exercise. It's called a tricep extension. Now, it can be really tricky to get in position. So take your stretchy band and hold both hands in one handle, one hand in both handles, and crisscross your body with the other. Here we go. We're pressing down for 1, 2, 3. Now, it's important with this exercise that you keep your elbow nice and tight to your body. And when we're working with the band, it's very important to control it up and down, both ways. If you flick or let the bands flick on you, you're going to hurt something. And you're not going to get as good a workout. Thank you. And we're going to switch sides. And once we're ready, here we go. Pressing for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now with this exercise in particular, the triceps are a funny muscle, you guys. They're not always easy to feel working. Biceps, you feel. We grow up flexing our biceps all the time, but for the tricep, pause at the bottom for a split second and you'll feel that contraction of the muscle. Thank you. Our next exercise, you're going to take this band and place it either under 1 foot or 2 feet, whatever you're comfortable with. I haven't reminded you for a while, but hold that stomach muscle in tight. It's going to protect your back. Arms are here and we're curling up for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now something I haven't mentioned at all, and I hardly ever mention when I teach, is breathing. Oh my Lord, how have I gotten this far? But it's usually I'm talking all the time, so I'm always breathing. But for our participants, basically breathe naturally. Thank you. If you have an exercise that's really hard for you, breathe out on the exertion and in on the easy. If you can think of this little thing, exhale on the exertion, the XX, okay? All right, leg extensions are next. Now I'm doing this standing, so I'm going to show you how you can do this with a little assist. So I'm holding onto the chair. Now, try to get your knee at the hip height and extend for 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if you're unable to get that knee at hip height, you can take it a little lower if that works better for you. But if you're able to get it up while holding your stomach in tight, if you feel like your posture is going wonky just to get your knee up, then you don't want to do that. Thank you. Other leg. Here's 1, 2. Now, all of our exercises, I will remind you, can be done seated or standing. There's no right or wrong, as long as you're exercising and having fun. You guys are having so much fun, hey? Usually our class is very loud and talkative, but we just had a little discussion about having to be a bit quieter today. Okay, our next exercise is a shoulder press. These two will be your most challenging in the workout, I would say. Maybe squats. But you're going to place the band underneath your bum. Once you get it there, now something you may have picked up on while watching this video, or maybe you haven't, is I often sit at the edge of my chair. I do this for 2 reasons. 1, my legs are kind of short, and I like to have my feet firmly planted on the ground. The other reason I sit near the edge of the chair is I'm forced to work my abdominals. If I sit at the back of the chair, it gets kind of comfortable here. And so you want to make sure that you're challenging yourself as much as you can. And again, feet are wide to support your entire self, Hands are now at shoulder height, stomach muscles are tight, and we're pressing up for 1, 2. Now this exercise, 3. If you're working with a band at home and you're unable to extend all the way up back to shoulder height, your band is too tight, okay? That means it's too much resistance right now. Go to a lighter band until you can get that full range of motion. And how are we doing, Carol?
14.
14, yes. 15, I'm saving my energy because I know what's next. Okay, our next exercise can be one of our most challenging, you guys. It's that side raise again. So, again, if you're in a room with stuff, whether it's furniture or people or bookshelves, make sure you have room. We're doing 8 and 8. Here we go, friends. Up for 1, 2. Now, as far as arm height goes here, you can go pretty much anywhere from shoulder height, even up to your ears is fine. There's really no need to go all the way up. Oops. And switch hands. I just got told. But basically, you're going somewhere between armpit and head height is where you want to lift. And a 1. Good job. If you feel the need to kind of like take a little breather after that, that's completely normal. I'm going to remain seated for this next part. This is the jogging. So again, you're going to hear all kinds of loud thumping sounds, and that's normal. Participants, feel free to jog it out if you want to, okay? Here we go. And it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, and add your arm pumps, you guys. Adding the arm pump in is actually going to increase your speed and your heart rate, which is, 16. Woo! All right, we're just going to catch our breath, and we're going to move on to our next exercise. I'll get back up to standing. While you're catching your breath, you can start thinking about the next exercise. Our next exercise, you are going to be holding your stomach muscles in tight again. You're going to hear that a lot. Very important when you're doing strength training to hold your muscles tight in your core. All right, arms are now in front of you, and we're working on those shoulder blade muscles again. And we're opening up for 1, 2. Now, here's another area that you really want to be careful that you're looking straight ahead. If you decided to start looking around the room, you're going to run the risk of injuring your neck or straining something, and then you'll wake up tomorrow wondering, what did I do yesterday? And you don't want to blame exercise. It was just you moved your head.
No, blame Katey.
You don't want to blame me, Gord. Okay, our next exercise, your band is going to go under your feet. From here, this is one of our easiest exercises. So you can reach down and grab a little extra tubing to make it more challenging. From here, shoulders are coming up for 1, 2, 3. Now again, this might feel like the easiest exercise, but challenge yourself. Really drive up the shoulders and then let them stretch. Up and stretch. Up. Try not to let them flop down. Stretch them down. You'll feel the difference as you do that. 15 and 16. Good. All right, that brings us back to squats. For squats, we're going to be using the weights. I'm just going to set my band down here. And our next exercise is the squats. So you can do this with or without the weights, as I showed you in the first round. I'm going to show you with the weights this time. And I'm going to add something too. Here we go. Up for 1. At around rep number 8, I'm going to show you how you can increase this workout, this particular exercise, to make it more challenging. And here's 6. Are you ready for it? 7. Now we're going to combine some arms. Here we go. And we're pressing up and down. Now, this is more advanced, you guys. So if you're not ready for it, don't worry about it. You can do whatever you're comfortable with. But this exercise is probably one of the most vital, if I could stress to you,
16.
If you're looking at this video thinking, that's a lot of exercises to do, squats is probably one of the best that you can do to keep freedom in your life, okay? I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so we're going to come up behind our chairs again. So again, if you're at home, you can use the chair, kitchen chair. I do recommend making sure you're not on a surface where your chair is going to slide super easy. I'm very experienced with this, so I don't need a lot of support. Thank you. So, but if you're at home and you're feeling like this is your first time, I'd like you to hold on to something a little more sturdy. Kitchen counter is probably the best. It's not moving. Here we go, and we're up. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2. Again, this is a great exercise to work on your balance. So you can go hands-free here if you want to give it a try. And then if you're a little bit nervous, take one off. Try maybe a pinky on the chair. Some people I've seen do that in my class when I teach them, and it's a little bit of a challenge with just a touch of support. And how are we doing, Carol? 15, 1, 2, and 16, 1, 2. Good. Our leg curls are next. So now that we know our exercise, let's really squeeze behind. Ready? We're up. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, and 8, 1, 2. And let's switch legs. Lifting up. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, and 8, 1, 2. Good. That brings us to the end of our second round. Oh, we got to do wall push-ups first, and then we'll meet back for round 3, everybody. So you can find your wall space and do some wall push-ups. I'll go over here. Over this way. I'll demonstrate the 3 again. So you can do wall push-ups. Always holding your stomach tight throughout. You don't want your hips swaying. Or the table edge works really well. You're standing about 3 to 4 feet away, and you're in and out, holding your stomach tight, flat as a board, as you move through the exercise. And finally, again, if you're able to, you can do this exercise from the floor. I'm going to review with you the shin push-up again. You're resting on your shins to start. You're bending at the hips, and then your hands fall naturally under your shoulders, and you're down and up. Now it feels kind of like a funny exercise, and that's normal. It is kind of a funny exercise, but as you get stronger, you'll be able to extend the legs back farther into the knee, and finally into the toe. And there we go. All right, everybody, we're going to get ready for the 3rd round. For that round, I'm going to move my chair to the side. I'm going to demonstrate 3rd round all standing. Please continue to do what you're comfortable with. If you're comfortable doing them seated, remain seated. But if you want the challenge of trying them standing, then go standing. All right, how's everybody feeling? Good? Good. All right, here we go. Round 3 is just like round 1, but we have a little joke in our class that it's the best round because we're almost done. Now, round 3 on a Friday is probably the best round. And how are we doing? 7. Okay, I want to just talk about this exercise. Stomach muscles are tight to support your back. Your elbows are by your ears. And if you want to take a little look at the back here, your arms are coming behind your head, just where you're flexible enough to let them come down and up. All right? So it might not look like that right at the beginning, but that's your goal. All right, our next exercise, bicep curls. So we're curling the weights up and down. Here's 2 and 3. Now in the world of exercise, you're going to hear all kinds of options for different exercises. We're going through some basic ones here today. But for instance, the bicep curl, there's many variations. So right now we're just doing a straight up curl. It works your biceps. Don't get confused by all the options out there. I encourage most of my participants, thank you, to stick with basics. Okay, leg extensions are next. Now, I removed my chair for added support. So I'm just gonna hold on to my weights and let's hope I can do this. Now, leg is up and out for 16. Here's 1, 2, 3. Now, if you're doing this without a chair and you're working on your balance, something you can do that helps is hold your stomach tight. Holding your core tight actually improves your balance. And so another thing you can do is look at something straight ahead of you. Oh, I did it, guys. Other leg. And here's 1. If you look straight ahead at something that's not moving, that's also going to help keep your balance. The last thing you want to do is watch your neighbor and her leg moving up and down, because it's going to throw you off. But holding your core tight, focusing, will help. And is that 16? Yeah, I did it. All right, our next exercise is shoulder press. Now, because I'm standing, I'm going to show you an option that was added to our class a few years back. Your hands are at shoulder height. We're adding a leg tap out. It looks like this. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, if this isn't comfortable for you, and that's just too much movement, get rid of the legs. Well, don't get rid of them, but just stand still, focus on the shoulders, okay? The add-on was brought to us by one of our participants a few years ago. Not sure where it came from, but it's stuck. Okay, arms are hanging beside you. This is our side raise, everybody, so make sure you have room beside you, that you're not going to take out a neighbor or a wall, okay? Yeah, we can sort it out. Here we go, everybody. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, the height on here is going from your sides of your body. 7, is that 8? Now turn it over. You can go anywhere from shoulder height to about ear height, head height, but you don't need to bring your arms over your head. Just keep that tension on the shoulder. And this is feeling like a Friday workout today. Okay, now, marching. I'd like to talk to you about marching and having your weights in your hand. Something that I haven't shown you yet. If you're working out at home, I should have shown you this on the very first exercise, and I totally forgot because I don't have a table in front of me. But if my handy camera person could just kind of watch me here, I'm going to take the weights and crisscross them on the table. That's the safest positioning for your weights, is to crisscross them on the table so they don't roll off, okay? I'm going to leave my weights there now because I'm going to jog. I'm going to jog with you guys today. I'm going to jog at number 10. So I'm going to count to 10 and then I'll take it up to a jog for you guys. Here we go. Here's 1, 2. Now, with this exercise, guys, pumping those arms is really going to help. Where are we at? 9. 10. Whoa, that means I got to jog. Uh-oh. Hopefully I can make it. Tell me when. 16. Oh, good. Woo. Now, hydration. Sorry, Paul. Hydration is also important while you're exercising. Keep water handy. I'll just tuck mine there. You should be consuming about a bottle of water during your exercise session. I'm now out of breath after the jog. I don't jog all the time in class because I have to talk again right away. But I'm going to grab my hand weights. Always, again, secure them, crisscrossing them on your table between exercises. All right, our row is next. We're getting near the end, you guys. Arms are going out in front of you, and we're rowing. Here's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. As you're doing this, squeeze those shoulder blades in the back and control the weights in and out. 14, 15, and 16. Whew. Okay, after that exercise, your hands naturally fall beside you, and it's perfect for the shrug. So here we go, shrugging for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you want to think of a couple exercises in this program where you can catch your breath, this is one of them. I don't know if there's another one. This is a challenging workout. If you're doing it for the first time, way to go. We've been doing this for a while now. Elbows are here, 90 degrees, elbows tucked in, opening up for 1, 2. Now wrists are nice and firm. We're not flicking. We're keeping them nice and steady. 7. Oh, look at that. 8. I really didn't count. I read her lips. So 16 reps is something that we came up with a few years ago, and it's stuck. We like it, and it works. 16. And 16. Good job. All right, arm circles are next, everybody. So if you're at home, you could use a chair edge or the table edge, whatever you're comfortable with, and we're doing 16s. Here we go. Here's 1, 2. Now you want to have a bit of a soft knee and stomach muscles held tight to protect your back. If I didn't keep my knees a bit soft and they were locked, it's going to strain my back and my hips. But keeping them soft helps.
16.
16, other direction, everybody. Here's 1, 2. Now again, this exercise in particular is just therapeutic. It should feel good on your shoulder, okay? Now, if you're dealing with frozen shoulder, or you got some bursitis or tendonitis going on, some of these aren't going to feel good,
16.
but they will get better. Okay, we're going to switch arms. I'm going to show you also how you can hold on to your leg for this. So again, knees are soft, stomach's tight, and we're circling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, you should just feel a nice, gentle pull in the shoulder. It shouldn't be painful. One thing I do want to talk to you guys about is exercises, okay? Obviously, we're in an exercise class. When you're doing your exercises, if any of them feel sharp, acute pain, that exercise should be discontinued until you get proper, I guess, consults done with a doctor. And is that 16? 16. But I do want to tell you that with exercise, you are going to feel some dull, achy pains. You're going to feel muscles that haven't been exercised for a while. That is normal exercise. I hate to use a word, but it's true. Pain and discomfort. It's normal. But if you're feeling sharp, acute pain, you want to be careful to treat that properly. Okay, we're on to chair squats. I prefer doing a chair squat in this class. I can do squats without a chair, but I prefer with. Here we go, everybody. Up for 1, 2. Now, as you're doing squats, whether you're standing freely or if you are using a chair, as you stand up, think of pushing pressure into your heels as you come up, and that will take some of the pain out of the knee area. Okay, another thing you can do that is just a fact of life, guys, as you stand up, squeeze your bum muscles. I was going to give a fancy term, but it's just your bum. So just as you go up and down, flexing those muscles will help. Okay, we're getting very close to the end of our class, you guys. We're doing very well. We're coming up to the balancing exercises behind the chair. So we're going to go up for a 2 count. Here we go. And we're up. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, and 8, 1, 2, 9, 1, 2. Some people are using their hands here, which is kind of a neat way to challenge your balance. Now, I remember when this came into our class, a lot of our ideas come from participants, and they were talking about having to reach stuff off top shelves, and this is a great reminder of that exercise. Okay, leg curls. Here we go. Lifting up. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2. You can work on your balance if you want to, but if you're not comfortable with it, just hold onto the chair in front of you, or sofa, or counter, whatever you're using for balance. Good. And one more other leg. Here we go. Up. 1, 2, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 4, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 6, 1, 2, 7, 1, 2, and 8, 1, 2. I'm going to have you all do push-ups first, and then we're going to come back for a stretch. Okay? So wall push-ups, everybody, and then we'll come back for our final round, and that is stretching. So hand height is really important, whether you're doing a push-up on the wall or a push-up on the floor. You usually want your hands in line with your shoulders, okay? Right now this exercise bike's a little bit in my road, but that's okay. We can still go forward here. One thing you could do at home before you begin, and I should have done this, is clear an area, but I forgot. So, same thing with the table. As I'm going forward, when I'm in that low down position, my shoulders are again right near my hands. You don't want them out in front of them, because that's going to put a lot of strain on your shoulders. And right down when we go down to the floor, when you're doing push-ups, push-ups are probably one of my #1 favorite exercises in the world, so I love sharing about them. Bending at the hips, hands go under your shoulders, and here. So if my hands got out in front of me here, that's going to be very difficult to do. So make sure your hands are lined up under your shoulders. Again, you can extend. Now I should mention, when you go into the knee push-up, you're resting on your thighs, not on your kneecaps. So you'll notice I bring my feet up behind me, and that gets me off of my kneecaps. Another thing you could do if you were at home is place a mat under your knees. And here we go to the full push-up. Okay? So lots of options there to pick from. We're going to be doing our stretches. I'll have you all stand up behind your chair to begin. We have 2 stretches that we do standing, and then we'll take a seat for a few of them. Okay, our first stretch is for your hip. So you're going to take 1 step forward, your back leg is going to travel back on you, and you're going to try to bend both knees so you're at a 90-degree angle. You're going to try to get your shoulders over your hips as well. This is stretching out the hip flexor on the leg that's extended. Now with stretching, you may feel this all over your body because you're holding yourself up. Now I want you to shift the weight into that heel and lean a bit forward, and you should feel a stretch in your calf of the leg that's extended. So that leg is going back. Stretches, you should feel mild tension. Let's switch legs, everybody. Carefully switch out the legs. Again, we're bending into that hip flexor stretch position. With stretching and with your exercises, you're going to feel mild tension. You should never feel sharp pain. If you are, again, you need to discontinue that exercise until you get approval from a doctor or until you strengthen enough. Press your heel down in the back and lean forward. Trust me, I've been teaching fitness for about 28 years, and sometimes we have aches and pains. You guys, that's normal, very normal. But to keep moving, bring yourself up, and mobile movement is necessary. Okay, we're going to do some stretches, and I'm going to share with the world of the world, whoever's going to watch this video. This stretch is called the toilet stretch. I know. Camera guy is probably going, where is she going with this? But this is, you ever go visiting at someone's house and they put the toilet paper in a weird spot? You always want to be flexible enough to not only reach the toilet paper, but this is a real fact, you guys. As we get older, or even there's some young people without good mobility, being able to finish the job in the bathroom is a serious matter. So we do take it serious here. We're going to turn now back in our chair. While you do this, you try to keep your hips forward, legs forward. You're turning at the torso. Now we're going to switch to the other side. Now, it might seem like a funny thing, but having this is not only good for on the toilet. Many people are drivers. Maybe you're riding a motorcycle or a scooter. Switch sides. Doing a proper shoulder check, you need some of that rotation in the spine. Or just reaching for stuff, right? And the other side. And relax. All right. The next few stretches, some of our participants will be doing them standing. I'm going to do them seated for the purpose of this video, but you're welcome to do them standing if you're comfortable. All right, so we're going to reach one arm over the top. Now, you're feeling a stretch down your side. You'll notice my feet are a nice distance apart. That's to give you a wide base of support. If my feet, switch arms, everybody. If your feet were close together, that's going to create a tippy surface there. So you want to have a good base. And switch sides. When your feet are wider like that, you can focus more on your muscles and less about falling off your chair. And switch sides. Your stretching should just feel good. You will feel a little bit of those muscles pulling, relax, but for the most part it should feel just nice. Take your hands, clasp them together, and press them out. We're going to be doing a series of head tucks. I'm going to tuck here. That was to demonstrate. If you are feeling those head tucks are too much, if they leave you dizzy, lightheaded, or short of breath, don't tuck. Relax your muscles, everybody. Now, we're going to re-grip our hand grip on that stretch and do it again. You're going to feel a slightly different stretch, not to mention your brain's going to go, what the heck? We all have a natural hand grip that we always use, and by challenging our brain like that, that's a good thing. Add the head tuck if you're comfortable, or just look straight ahead. And relax. All right, our next stretch is for your shoulder. We're going to take one arm across our body, reach your other hand underneath, and give it a gentle pull in towards you. Now, you don't have to yank it hard. You should feel a mild tension in your one shoulder. You may feel this hand working as well because it's holding that arm in. That's normal. And relax. And we're going to bring this across to the other side. Feel a good stretch in the shoulder. And relax. All right. Our next few stretches are actually strengtheners for our neck muscles. We're going to grab the top of our head, and you're kind of pushing your head into your hand, causing some tension in your neck area. So you're not yanking your head over, you're resisting the pull. And now we're going to do that on the other side. These are good strengtheners for your neck. And relax. We're going to do a similar stretch now by pushing on the side of your face. And again, these ones look funny, but whatever. Just get over it. And you're going to feel your neck muscles tension. And relax. And the other side. They feel funnier when you're talking because your cheeks feel weird. And relax. Okay. Our next few stretches are really great again. If you're still a driver and you want to have good mobility in your car, I want you to look over one shoulder and look back as far as you can. And while you look back, stretch your face, stretch your eyes. Smile hard if you want. Really stretch your cheeks. And let's bring it slowly to the other side. I should mention, if any participants doing this video, switch sides, have vertigo, sometimes these movements side to side are a little too much. and just avoid them. Don't do them. And the other side. And relax. We're now going to take this stretch up to the ceiling, down to the floor, and up, and down. Good, and just roll back your shoulders. Now, for our participants who've been standing, I want you to find a chair and scoot your body to the back. So all class, you've noticed I've been sitting on the edge of my chair. Now I'm going to go to the back of my chair because I want to have my legs on most of the chair for better leverage here. Legs are going up and we're flexing and pointing. So if I was doing this at the edge of my chair, I'd probably fall off my chair or fall forward. So coming to the back, you can just actually let your upper body relax. This is leg stretches coming up here. Now I'm going to take your feet and circle them. I hope I don't have gum on the bottom of my shoes. That would be embarrassing. Or even dog stuff. Other way. And relax. Our next stretch is going to be one leg and one arm. So we're lifting up one leg. We're going to reach across with our opposite hand. Now, I like to grab the back of the chair because that allows me to lean forward without falling out of my chair. If you can't touch your toe, that's okay. Reach towards your ankle or your shin or your knee, but try to get the rotation in the upper body. And relax. We're going to do that same stretch on the other side. So I'm grabbing the chair, I'm reaching forward, and I'm rotating my upper body to get a full stretch. Holding onto the chair is very helpful. And relax. Okay, we're going to do a big stretch. Now, if you're doing this at home for the first time, you might want to watch us the first time and then join us for the second one. It can be pretty intense. So, we're lifting up both our feet, we're pulling our toes in towards us, we're making two fists, and we're leaning forward. Now, from here, listen to all this. Hold your tummy in tight, round your back, and tuck your head. Once you've done all that, hold for a couple of seconds, and now relax. You might have heard some feet hitting the floor pretty hard. That's normal. It's a hard stretch, but it's a good one. We are going to do it a second time if you'd like to join us. Lift up your feet, pull in your toes, and reach. Now, if that head tuck left you a little uncomfortable, just leave it out. This is still a great stretch. I can still fold my stomach in and round out my back. And relax. Okay. For our next two leg stretches, I am going to actually move up a little bit to the edge of the chair. It just, for my leg height, it doesn't work well for me to be at the back. So we're going to be stretching out our bum muscle. We're going to lift up one leg. If you're able to, cross your leg over. If you're unable to make the cross happen, just try to lift your leg up. I am able to cross, and I'd like to show you this one. Once you get a good grip, I want you to sit up straight. And you're going to feel that stretch in your bum. Yep, I said it. In that bum. And from here, we're going to be opening up that hip. So we're going to take this knee and lean it open. Now, I always tell my class, this is a position that you're going to be in when you're clipping your toenails or putting on socks or tying your shoe, right? So we want to keep that mobility there, again, so that you can do your own toenails. And relax that leg. We're now going to do the same stretch on the other side. Now, another thing you've probably noticed if you've got through this entire video, that you're going to have one side that's stronger than the other, one side that's more flexible than the other. That is completely normal. You are normal. Hold it in nice and tight. And now we're going to open it up. So again, these, the last two hip stretches, they might pull a little bit. My hips even don't like this stretch, but they need it. So I'm going to do it with you. You can push on it or you can lean on it. And relax. All right, we're coming near the end of our class. Some people enjoy this stretch standing. I think I'd like to join you standing as well. It's one of my favorite stretches at the end of class. It's a full body stretch. Now again, if you have vertigo or you get dizzy easily, I'm going to show you on the first stretch how to modify. So our first stretch, arms are up. Now, you can add a wee back bend if you're comfortable, but I always caution my participants, if you've bent back too far and you can't get forward, you've gone too far. Okay, so now I'm going to go halfway. Participants, you can go full if you want to. This is a half stretch. And arms up. The half stretch is for anyone that gets way too dizzy doing the full. For our last two, I'm going to show you the full stretch. Down we go. Now for the full stretch, I'm going right down to the floor. I'm letting my body round out. And we're coming up nice and easy. We don't stay down too long. And arms up. And we're coming down. Now this is our final stretch here. I'd like you to take a moment to straighten your legs, stick out your bum, and round up your back super slow. Like come up really, 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 really slow. It'll feel good, I promise. Come up and roll back your shoulders. I always have to fix my shirt after that. It's just the way it goes. And we're going to finish with breathing. So this is our favorite activity of class. I like to take my palms up to the ceiling and then I turn them down as I come down. It's like let out the bad and in with the good. Here we go. And out. Or in with the good, out with the bad. Whatever. Just breathe. And in. And out. In. And out. One more. And out. Very good, everybody. All right, I'd like to thank you for taking the time to do the video. If you have any questions, my name is Katey Armstrong, and you can contact me right through this video. Thank you.